Right, Parmesan stage 2, we're preparing our chicken. Basically, I've got 3 chicken breasts. These ones are slightly smaller and I probably use about 240, 250, but classically Teesside Parmesans are known for how big they are, which obviously they only come from 2 things, either a large chicken breast or it's flattened further. So the 2 methods of using, you can either take a chicken breast and you can slice it down the middle in half and open it up like a book. That's one method. That can be a little bit hit and miss depending on how good your knife skills are. The second method is to bash the living daylights out of it. Not quite living daylights, but you know what I mean. Poor things been through enough already. We don't want too much stress. So yeah, we're going to flatten it. So I like to do it in a plastic bag. The reason I do it in a plastic bag is obviously for hygiene more than anything. But the other thing, I can see it's how even it is, and it actually holds its integrity a little bit better in the bag, and it stops it splatting all over. So there's reasons we do that. So I've done 2. It's just the last one. So these breasts have been cleaned up a little bit. So I've taken all of where the wing goes. There's often like a little bit of kind of cartilage and sometimes left behind and bits of tendon and stuff. I'll remove those because they can be a bit chewy. So that's all, and I'm just going to get this one in the bag and try to get it so I don't get it all over the bag. Actually get it in the bag. And there you go. Brilliant. So these ones have actually got the I'm going to keep that board, which I'll come to in a minute. I'll just keep that one side. I was going to put it in the dishwasher, but I am going to wash my hands. So just give me 1 second. And I'll be back all fully hygienic and ready to rock and roll, as we say. So let's go. So let's flatten these chickens out. So I'm going to get the fillet, which is the bit that kind of folds on the inside of the chicken, the small bit that they take off and then charge you more for if you buy them by themselves. But we're going to sort of flatten out with our hands first, and then I've got a meat hammer, and using not the tenderizing side, well they're both tenderized, but using the flat side, I'm just going to start out with the thick end bit, and I'm just going to bash that till it starts to give. So you might bash it a few times and you think nothing's happening. Don't whack it. Don't whack the living daylights out of it. Just keep on going till it starts to give and spread, and try as much as you can to get a bit of an even level with it. I don't want it super thin. I'd say that's 5 mil maybe thick ish. When you actually put it in the fryer, because these are getting fried, it will shrink up a bit. So if it looks, you think, well, that's a little bit too thin, it will come back up a little bit. It will shrink back a bit and get a little bit thicker, but don't go too daft, don't go too much. So that's one done. Let's do all 3 while we're here. So I'll just crack on and do it as I normally do it. Less chat, yes. Let's just do it. Because we want our dinner. Or tea, if you're up. Like I say, it keeps everything hygienic, everything clean, and there's one kind of flattened chicken breast, and you'll see. Nice, that's all good. Last one. And then we're down to the next stage, which is to paner, French. I think it comes from French word. I don't know what paner means, but I know what it is. Basically, to coat in flour, egg, and breadcrumbs. One at a time, of course, because it'd be a right mess if you did it all at once. I'm sure there'll be people out there that have probably done that. You know. If there's a way to get something wrong, some people will get it wrong. Now what I'm going to do is one by one, in fact before I actually get to that stage and take them out, I'm going to prep me next, which is my flour, egg and breadcrumbs. So the easy one is breadcrumbs. So as many of you know, I make a lot of bread. And as a byproduct of that, I have bread. Actually, I'm going to wash my hands first before I get into there. It's all going to be fried, and but just make sure, let's just be on the safe side. It's all going to be fried and stuff like that, so it shouldn't be a problem. Let's just be on the safe side. So yeah, a byproduct of the having loads of bread is I end up with loads of spare bread, which I then make into breadcrumbs. And if you don't have that luxury, you can buy them or get yourself a loaf of bread. And after a couple of days, it becomes a little bit drier, and you need to really use a bit staler bread. It's better. It's already kind of, some of the moisture's already come out. Now this is a messy process, but let's not, you know, exaggerate the mess right from the start. Let's kind of get things. So, egg. We need a couple of eggs. So I'm going to get those on the go. A couple of eggs. Let's get those in. Let's get rid of that. Let's give it a little whisk. Whiskey. Yeah, this is just glue. So essentially, the flour seals the chicken, because obviously it's quite moist. It seals it, and the flour sticks to the chicken. Then the egg binds to the flour, and then the breadcrumbs bind to the egg. So hence, while we have the flour, egg and breadcrumbs, we don't need to beat it, like we're not making an omelette or anything like that. I'll keep it out just in case I run short of egg. Should be alright. And the last thing is flour. So let's get that in there. I'll just use what I've got. There we go. That should be fine. So that's our flour, egg and breadcrumbs prepped. What I'm going to do is I'm going to season the flour, just get a bit of salt in that flour. And a little bit of pepper in the flour, but I'm also going to season the chicken, because one of the things that you actually find with stuff like this, that people don't, when they're frying things like chicken, they never think of actually seasoning the chicken to start with. So underneath everything else, it just tastes a little bit bland. Hence what I've got here, which I've got, I said earlier on, I'm going to that's separated that. Oh well. We're going to have one that's let's get rid of that. So I'm going to season. When I say separated, I mean the fillet that's come away from it. Now I'm just going to use this as a dirty cloth, so don't worry for season the chicken, both sides. I'm not touching that with this hand. There we go. And there's a bit of pepper on the board there, so we'll utilise that. And there we go. So stage one, we're in the flour. There we go. And let's just dust that off. So this is stage one. Don't have it too thick of flour, otherwise you end up making a bit of a mess. It gets a bit claggy. So we want to make things nice, don't we? So in with the egg, and we just want to make sure it's fully coated all the way around. And then let that drip off, because again, we don't want it heavy, because you can, by over egging this, you saw what I did there, didn't you? By over egging it, yeah, I know it wasn't funny. I know it wasn't funny. I know, it's these dad jokes, I can't help myself. Yeah, you don't want too much egg on there, and then we're going to finish in the breadcrumb. So get plenty on there, just press it in, turn it over, just so you don't see any of the pink of the chicken. Well, you're going to be fair. Now, there's a method called double panning, which means I take this, I put it back in the egg, and then back in the breadcrumbs. To be fair, it's too thick. It just gets a little bit too much on the coating, and I think it spoils it. So I'm not going to do that. You can, if you wish. But let me just show you. So I'm going to put them on. This is going to prep it. So this is one of me. This is one of my. There we go, parmesans ready to deep fry. I'll do one more, and then I'll turn the camera off, and we'll go from there. But I'll have to take it out, and then I'll leave the bag there. Give my hands a little bit of a wash first. What you might find, if you don't keep your hands clean during this process, you should have one dry hand and one wet hand. So if you're kind of doing it in process, you'd have lots of chicken there, then you'd have one dry hand, which you keep in the flour, one wet hand which then goes in the egg, then back to dry hand, so you don't end with one hand panade full of flour, egg and breadcrumbs. Anyway, I'm not that clever, am I? So on with the, as you notice, I'm actually peppering the board as well. This is partly so I'm not having to touch the pepper pot after I've done the chicken again, because I'm going to turn this. So I'll give that a press. I'm seasoning the chicken, and then I'm just getting in that some of the seasoning on the board so the chicken's fully done. So back in with the flour. Just dust that off, give it a little pat. Like I said, this is just really to adhere the egg to this, so it's just the flour's stuck to the chicken. Just pat off any excess, then that goes in the egg. You make sure it's all coated, but not too much, not over egging it, and then in with the breadcrumbs. There we go. And you probably saw I spilled a bit on the floor there. I caught that out my eye, because I know what you do. You lot at home, right? This is what I'm busy doing this, right? And you're all trying to spot things. Oh, he's done that wrong. You try doing this and making a video at the same time. Oh, look, he's done that. He should have done. He's touched his nose again. Terrible that bloke. I wouldn't watch him anymore. Yeah, I know what you like, you little tinkers. So there's number. Just get that one covered. There's number 2. Get that on my tin. And these are all prepped for frying, because I am going to do some wedges with these. So these will just sit there nicely. Can go in the fridge. Cover them, of course. And then when you're ready to fry, they're all good to go. But for now, I'm just going to wash my hands and then stop the video, and I'll finish up. But you get the process. That's the process. It's something we do once, 21 times. It's all exactly the same. Flour, egg, breadcrumbs. Season your chicken just to get a bit of flavour into the chicken underneath it all. I seasoned the flour as well on top, so it goes into the coat inside of it. But we want it to taste nice. We don't just want it to taste like bland chicken under cheese and bechamel sauce. So that's that, right? I'll catch you on the frying side. So we'll see you shortly. But for now, I'm going to finish up here, tidy my mess up, because we like it tidy, we like it clean. And I'll leave you to go and have 5 minutes break. Bye for now.